very enthusiastic audience here at High School Challenge. This is our 36th year of providing academic competition for teams from all over New York State and Pennsylvania. Our last two winners are meeting in the finals, Horseheads and Montrose. Let's meet the team from Montrose and their captain, David Koloski.
Hi, I'm David Koloski. I'm a senior at Montrose, and my favorite digit is my thumb.
Hi, I'm Adam Worth. I'm a senior at Montrose, and my favorite cereal is Reese's Puffs.
Hi, I'm Courtney Kimmel. I'm a senior at Montrose, and my favorite literary movement is symbolism.
Why, hello everyone. My name is Sean Regan. I'm also a senior at Montrose, and my favorite movie is Inception.
Glad to hear that. I'd hate to think it was something that anybody watched and understood. Their coach is John Koloski. All right, let's meet the team now from Horseheads and their captain, Tim Claypool.
Hi, I'm Tim, and I'm a senior. And I will not be here next year.
Hi, I'm Joseph, and I'm a junior, and I love the book The Hobbit.
Hi, I'm Shuchi, and my favorite subject is math.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a junior, and my favorite subject is English.
All right, they look like guns. I think we need to arrest them right away. Okay, the team from Horseheads is coached by Pam Doran. We're ready to start playing, and let's start with nothing but toss-ups. The first one is a 5-pointer. Although World War II is generally considered to have begun in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland, Japan was already at war with which Oriental giant?
Horseheads, Tim.
China.
China is correct in 1937. For 10 points, the aggregation of the beta-globin chains of hemoglobin blocks blood vessels and leads to this disease's namesake crises. What is this disease, most common in people of African descent?
Montrose, David.
Sickle cell anemia.
That's correct. For 5 points, it's also a word meaning senior bureaucrat and a type of sweet orange. But what is by far the most common dialect spoken in China?
Horseheads, Shuchi.
Mandarin.
Mandarin is correct. For 10 points, they may be classified as N or P, depending on their mobile charge character. These?
Montrose, David.
Semiconductors?
Semiconductors is correct, David, for 10. The writers of the U.S. Constitution developed the concept of an indirect presidential election to make sure every state's voters were proportionally represented. This resulted in the creation of what body?
Horseheads, Tim.
The Electoral College.
That is correct for 10. Here's a 5-pointer. With an area of 6.5 million square feet, it has its own main street, complete with shops, restaurants, and its own post office. What is this Arlington, Virginia landmark?
Horseheads, Tim.
The Pentagon.
Pentagon is correct, Tim, for 5. I have a visual toss-up now, a brain buster. Watch your monitor for 3 clues to a word or its homophone.
Montrose, David.
Base?
Base is correct for 5. For 5 points, its pure form was once known as oil of vitriol, and along with...
Montrose, Adam.
Sulfuric acid.
That is correct for 5. For 10 points, its name is the French word for hill, and it was once known as the richest hill on earth because of the preponderance of silver, gold, and copper mines. Name this city, now only the 5th largest in Montana.
Montrose, Adam.
Would that be Butte?
That would, in fact, be Butte. For 5 points, this math toss-up, it'll give you 5 seconds to get it. I want you to solve the following equation. The absolute value of the quantity x minus 8 is equal to 10.
Montrose, David.
X equals 18 or negative 2.
That's correct. And that brings us to the end of a very well-played first round. What's our score, please, Scott?
Montrose, 45. Horseheads, 25 after 1 round.
All right, only 20 points separating the teams. That means, Horseheads, you'll have first bid in the answer auction. Here's the answer auction question. There are 13 U.S. states whose highest points are less than 2,000 feet above sea level. How many of them can you name?
1.
While they're making up their minds about their opening bids, I will tell the folks at home that the high bidding team must then give that number of correct answers without giving an incorrect answer. That'll get them 40 points. If they can't do that, then the other team needs to give just 1 correct answer not already given to earn 20 points. And if they can't do that, the original high bidding team gets the 20 points. So let's start off. Tim, what's your opening bid?
1.
Will you go 2, David?
Yes.
They'll go 2. Will you go 3?
Should we go 3 now? Yeah, we'll go 3.
They'll go 3. Will you go 4?
Yes.
They'll go 4. Will you go 5?
No.
All right, give me 4, please, David. States whose highest points are less than 2,000 feet above sea level.
Florida.
Florida's correct.
Alabama.
I'm sorry, no. Give me 1 for 20
Louisiana.
points. Louisiana is correct. 515 feet above sea level in Louisiana. The others are Delaware, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, New Jersey, Ohio, Rhode Island, and Wisconsin. That brings us to the end of the second round. It makes a change in the score. Scott, what do we have?
We now have a 45-45 tie in the 2013 championship game.
And that is as it should be. The 1 seed playing the 2 seed. Both teams have looked very good throughout the tournament. And we'll be coming back with toss-ups and bonuses in our third round on TC3's High School Challenge 2013. That score is tied. Is that correct, Scott?
Yes, it is. Horseheads and Montrose are tied at 45 apiece.
All right, we move into toss-ups and bonuses. If you answer a toss-up correctly, your team gets a shot at a bonus worth 20 points. First bonus is in the category, oops, my mistake. Here's the toss-up for 10. This organelle's lamellae connect the grana, stacks of structures called thylakoids, which sit inside its inner membrane.
Horseheads, Tim.
The chloroplast.
That is correct, Tim. And here is your oops, my mistake bonus, Horseheads. In 1966, designer Coco Chanel said of what fashion trend, it's a bad joke that won't last, not with winter coming.
Miniskirts.
Miniskirt is correct. In 1962, Decca Records turned them down, saying, we don't like their sound and guitar music is on the way out.
The Beach Boys.
No, it was the Beatles. 19th century Irish scientist Dr. Dionysius Lardner wrote that rail transport at high speed is not possible because passengers would die of what?
Pass.
They would die of asphyxiation. The air would be coming past them too quickly for them to breathe it in. Both Thomas Watson, chairman of IBM, and Ken Olsen, founder of Digital Equipment Corporation, publicly forecast a complete lack of consumer interest in what?
Computers.
Sorry? Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
home
yeah.
computers.
That's 10 points and a bonus for
A little
Horseheads.
trouble understanding you, Tim. Slow down. Presidential ailments, the category of the next bonus. Here's the toss-up for 10. In January, Illinois joined New Mexico, Washington, and Utah in allowing illegal immigrants to acquire what?
Montrose, David.
Working papers.
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, Horseheads?
Horseheads, Tim.
Driver's licenses.
Driver's licenses is correct. Here's your presidential ailments bonus, Horseheads. Identify the president. He was the first sitting president to suffer a heart attack. It's happened in September 1955 during a round of golf.
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower is correct. His oral cancer was corrected by surgery in 1893 aboard the presidential yacht, which kept the public from knowing about his condition.
Garfield.
It was Grover Cleveland. He suffered his third stroke, a debilitating one, in 1919. It was, however, hidden.
Wilson.
That's correct. And finally, he wanted it kept secret, but his good friend Anwar Sadat announced to the world in 1978 that this president had hemorrhoids.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter is correct.
15 points and a bonus.
Here's our next bonuses in the category Shakespeare. Shakespeare. Everybody loves Shakespeare. For 10 points, the protagonist is executed by a mysterious legal authority for a crime about which he knows nothing in what work by Franz Kafka?
Montrose, Adam.
The Trial.
The Trial is correct, Adam, for 10. Here's your bonus in Shakespeare. One of two Shakespeare plays set in Venice. It features the title character strangling his wife Desdemona in a jealous fit of rage. What's the title?
The Merchant of Venice.
I'm sorry, no, it's Othello. Tybalt, Mercutio, Friar Lawrence, and Paris are secondary characters of what Shakespeare tragedy?
Romeo and Juliet.
That is correct. He was suspected of having murdered the heirs to the British throne in the Tower of London. Who was this English king who, according to Shakespeare, shouted, a horse, my kingdom for a horse," at the Battle of Bosworth Field?
Richard V.
Richard III. And finally, he appears in Shakespeare's Merry Wives of Windsor, as well as in both parts of Henry IV, before dying in Henry V. Who was this hard-drinking, lascivious old soldier?
No answer.
Sir John Falstaff.
5 points on the bonus.
Chemical elements to category of the last bonus. Here's the toss-up for 10 points. The westernmost country of mostly Muslim North Africa lies across the Straits of Gibraltar from Spain. What is this country?
Horseheads, Tim.
Morocco.
Morocco is correct, Tim. And here's your chemical elements bonus, Horseheads. I want you to name the chemical element based on the description. First, it has the highest specific heat capacity of all solids and is the least reactive of the alkalis. It's the lightest metal found on Earth, often used in batteries and
Lithium.
That is correct. Its oxide is found with silica in labware made of Pyrex glass, and this lightest element with electrons in a p-shell usually requires 6 valence electrons to be stable, violating the octet rule. It's a non-metal element with atomic number 5.
Boron.
That's correct. Its elemental form is a soft, silvery white metal that oxidizes rapidly in air and is so reactive with water that it generates heat sufficient to ignite the hydrogen. Its atomic number is 19.
Potassium.
Potassium is correct. And finally, when combined with chlorine, it forms the chemical weapon lewisite. Combined with gallium, it can be used as a semiconductor. This notable poison has the atomic number 33.
Arsenic.
Arsenic is correct.
All 20 points on the bonus.
Well done. That brings us to the end of round 3, and that means there has been quite a change in the score. Scott, what do we have?
Horseheads, 120. Montrose, 60.
Okay, 60 points behind. Chance to make up ground in this round, which is the category round. Teams get a chance to choose one of 4 categories, and the ones we'll be using in this round are wine, women, and song. We'll be back to see which categories they choose in a moment on TC3's High School Challenge 2013. We're just talking about the categories. Somebody says, I know something about women. I don't say I know something about women. At any rate, the categories were wine, women, and song. David, you have first choice. What are you picking?
We'll take song.
Okay. And are you ready with the timer? Start the timer, please. Give the French word for song.
Chanson.
Yes. What Irving Berlin song sung by Bing Crosby set a sales record for over 20 years?
White Christmas.
Yes. What book of the Bible is also called Canticle of Canticles?
The book, the Song of Songs.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, no.
Yes, that's correct. Yes,
Okay,
that's
give
the
the
alternate
German
name.
word for song.
Liad.
I'll accept that. What musical features the song "Gonna Wash That Man Right Out of My Hair" and "Some Enchanted Evening"?
Pass.
What song brought Bill Haley and the Comets fame in the 50s?
Pass.
What's the first song in The Wizard of Oz?
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yes. Give the Spanish word for song.
No answer.
What 3-word name is given to the area of New York City where music is published?
No answer.
Give the Italian word for song, usually used in English to denote an operatic song. We've run out of time. So,
50 points for Montrose.
3, 4.
And Song of Songs is an alternate name for the Song of
Song
Solomon.
of Solomon,
which is why we
okay.
accepted that.
So they got 50 points, chance to steal
South Pacific.
50 if you can get these right away, Horseheads. What musical features the song is going to wash that
South
rant?
Pacific?
It is South Pacific, yes. What song brought Bill Haley and the Comets fame in the 50s?
Pass.
It was Rock Around the Clock. Give the Spanish word for song.
What? Cantar.
It is canción. Cantar is the verb to sing. What three-word name is given to the area of New York City where music is published?
Pass.
It's called Tin Pan Alley. And finally, give the Italian word for song.
Aria?
Aria.
20-second chance points for Horseheads.
All right, a chance to get your own category now after picking up 20 on theirs. Tim, what are you choosing? Tim?
We want and.
And, okay. Ready with the timer? Start the timer, please. In the 2000 presidential election, running against Bush and Cheney were Gore and?
Lieberman.
Yes, in the road pictures, it was Bob Hope and?
Pass.
In the early 90s, the co-news anchors for CBS were Connie Chung and?
Barbara Walters.
No, in the Gulf War, the top American generals were Norman Schwarzkopf and?
Pass.
The Rumble in the Jungle featured Muhammad Ali and?
George Foreman.
Yes, the McKenzie brothers are played by Rick Moranis and?
Pass.
The opponents in 1940's presidential election were FDR and?
Dewey.
No, the original Blues Brothers were Dan Aykroyd and?
Pass.
From 1993, the only women to win Wimbledon were Navratilova and?
Sharapova.
No, in the movies, the odd couple were Jack Lemmon and?
Adam Sandler.
Sorry, no.
It's 20 points for Horseheads.
All right, chance to steal 80, Montrose, if you can get these right away. In the road pictures, it was Bob Hope and?
No answer.
Bing Crosby. In the early 90s, the co-news anchors for CBS were Connie Chung and?
Dan Rather?
Dan Rather's correct. In the Gulf War, the top American generals were Norman Schwarzkopf and?
No answer.
Colin Powell. The Rumble in the Jungle featured Muhammad
They got
Ali
that.
and?
They got that.
Oh, they did? Yes. The McKenzie brothers are played by Rick Moranis and?
No answer.
Dave Thomas. The opponents in 1940's presidential election were FDR and?
No answer.
Wendell Willkie. The original Blues Brothers were Dan Aykroyd and?
Jim Belushi?
Not Jim, but his brother John. From 1982 to 1993, the only women to win Wimbledon were Navratilova and?
Steffi Groff?
Steffi Groff is correct. And finally, in the movies, the odd couple were Jack Lemmon and?
No answer.
Walter Matthau.
20-second chance points for Montrose.
All right, they didn't like either of those categories much. What's our score after 3 rounds of play?
Montrose cuts
4
their
rounds.
deficit in half, 160 to 130 with 1 period to go.
Are only 30 points between the two teams as we move into our last round, which is nothing but toss-ups on TC3's High School Challenge 2013. Scott, is that score official?
Yes, Horseheads 160, Montrose 130.
All right, very, very close. Only 30 points separating the 1 seed from the 2 seed. And let's see what happens in our final round. We start with a 15-point toss-up. These are all toss-ups, so hands on buzzers, no consultation. Here we go. From Triple Divide Peak in Glacier National Park, water flows in the Atlantic, into the Pacific, and into Hudson Bay. Triple Divide Peak is located in which U.S. state?
Montrose, Adam.
Montana?
Montana's correct, Adam. Well done. For 15 points, he died as the result of the last of 29 duels he fought, and his death at 37 is widely regarded as a catastrophe for modern Russian literature.
Montrose, Adam.
Alexander Pushkin.
Alexander Pushkin is correct. He was considered the greatest Russian poet. For 10 points, of U.S. coins under $1 produced in the year 2000, which is the only one whose profile picture faces to the right?
Horseheads, Emma.
The penny?
The penny is correct, Emma, for 10. Here's a 10-point audio toss-up. I want you to listen to this and name either the tune or the band.
Montrose, Adam.
That would be Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner.
Okay, we would have accepted just one of those two, but they were both correct. For 10 points, General Light Horse Harry Lee, the father of Robert E. Lee, described what American as first in war, first in peace, first in the hearts of his countrymen?
Horseheads, Tim.
George Washington.
George Washington is correct for 10. For 15 points, the multiplicative form of this function is also known as the reciprocal, and in addition it can be found by simply negating the expression. Name this kind of function that undoes the effect of another function.
Horseheads, Tim.
An inverse function.
That is correct for 15. Here's a 10-pointer. 38th Parallel is a Christian rock band from Ames, Iowa. The 38th Parallel.
Montrose, Adam.
Korean Peninsula.
Yes, that's correct. For 15 points, the most well-known female tennis players in the world are probably Serena and Venus Williams, but which tennis pro from Belarus is currently ranked?
Montrose, Sean.
Victoria Azarenka.
Azarenka is correct, Sean. Well done. Voss and Riders in the Chariot were among the works that made which author the only Australian ever to win the Nobel Prize for Literature? Call time. The answer is Patrick White. For 15 points, the most famous study of these practices identified a tremble variety used to stop Apis mellifera in their practice of swarm intelligence. Carl von Frisch studied the waggle variety of what?
Montrose, David.
Dances, bee dances.
Bee dances is correct, David. Well done. For 10 points, 2 answers required. I want you to add a letter to either the beginning or end of a word that's a synonym for wrath and get a word that's a synonym for peril. Give both words. Time is up. The answer is anger becomes danger. For 15 points, Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome consecutively from 96 to 180 A.D. What was the collective name given to them by political theorists?
Horseheads, Tim.
The 5 good emperors.
5 good emperors is correct, Tim, for 15. For 10 points, it is the official language of only one country, although it's spoken by millions.
Montrose, David.
Latin.
I'll finish it. Spoken by millions worldwide. It has the largest alphabet with 74 letters. Name this language spoken in Phnom Penh.
Cambodian.
Cambodian is correct. We would have accepted Khmer as well. For 10 points, the anarchist pop band Chumbawamba, at its 2012 breakup, compared its philosophy with that of what short-lived art movement of the early 20th century, whose artists such as Marcel Duchamp and
Montrose, Courtney.
Dada.
Dada is correct for 10. Here's a 15-pointer. It made up much of the core of the gadget detonated in the Trinity test.
Montrose, Adam.
Plutonium.
Plutonium is what we're looking for. That's the end of the match. Scott, what's our final score?
That last 15-pointer made Montrose back-to-back champions, breaking what was a 220 to 220 time. Montrose are the winners again, 235
Well done.
to 220.
Both teams. Great play by both teams. We'll be back to validate the score and say goodbye to our friends and also hand out the trophy and a check for $3,000 from CSEA to the winning team Montrose after this. Hi. Our final score, please, Scott.
Montrose defends their championship with a 235 to 220 win on the final question over Horseheads.
All right, very well played, both teams. I couldn't ask for a better final match. John Koloski is with me here at the front of the high school challenge desk. Here's the trophy they'll be taking home. That's the Jack Hewitt Memorial Trophy. Jack was our first host of High School Challenge for the first 10 years, and they'll also be taking home a check for $3,000. I congratulate you, John. Well done. I'd like to thank a whole bunch of people, especially the class from Tompkins Cortland Community College, the production and direction classes, who did yeoman work in getting ready for this in a very short time, about 3 weeks. Tina Sanders, who served as the opening round announcer and also built the set, and Scott Blish, a former member of the High School Hall of Fame, High School Challenge Hall of Fame. We're adding 2 new members this year, Tim Claypool and David Koloski of these 2 teams. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on High School Challenge 2014. Bye-bye.